friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kate, and today I'm going to be going over everything I got up to in the month of October. If you are new here, I do these wrap-up videos at the end of every month just to kind of showcase everything that I do, but don't get to show on my channel. My life really revolves around my hobby, and so I kind of like to see what all I finish and work on throughout the month, and then hopefully at the end of the year I'll have a good idea of how much I really was able to accomplish in a year, which I think is really crazy. I do want to do like a wrap-up video at the end of the year with maybe just some of my favorites of the year, if that's something you guys are interested in. I'm also thinking about making some changes to my channel and the way that I post all these face videos, so just be patient with me in the next few months if things get a little weird. I'm scheming, I'm planning things, so that's how it goes. But anyway, first up, we're going to talk about all of the games that I played and what all specifically I did or got in these games. And then second, we're going to go over every book I read. And to be completely honest, this month was an insanely busy one. I got so much done hobby-wise. I honestly feel like you guys are going to be amazed if you've seen my previous wrap-up videos. You're going to be amazed by how much I got done this month in comparison to pretty much every other month of this year. But let's go ahead and dive in and start talking about the games. So of course, to start with, we have to start with Genshin. Although I couldn't tell you why, it's so zoomed in. What's that about? Bam. Fixed it. If you have been staying caught up with my videos, then you probably know that October was pretty insane pulls wise on Genshin. On other games I won't say I was as lucky, but I was amazed at my luck this month on Genshin. So the very first thing that happened, I'm sure you all know, is I got Flynn's and I got Capturing Radiance at 30 pulls for him. The shock in that video was so genuine. I've never had that happened. I never get early 5 stars, and it was amazing that I got an early 5 star and I won the 50-50. I had enough pulls to keep going if I needed to, if I lost the 50-50, because I was so unsure of if I would get him, because I used my 50-50 on Lauma last month. Well, I guess 2 months ago in September. But not only that, I also pulled for his weapon, but it took me, I believe, to hard pity maybe twice. Maybe I got it a little early, maybe at soft pity, but I did lose the 50-50 to Skyward Atlas the first time, unfortunately. I wish that I could have lost. I guess it's not a 50-50, it's like a 30-30 whatever. It's 30-30-30 whatever. I wish I would have lost to Yelan's weapon though, because I have Yelan and that would have been amazing. But no, that didn't happen. And also, unfortunately, my Nefer polls did not go as I planned, but I did end up with a new character. We have Jean now. I'm happy because I don't have a copy of Jean, but I'm bummed because this isn't Nefer. This is not Nefer, so yay, thank you Genshin. Next up, we have Honkai Star Rail, of course. I was fortunate enough to win another 50-50 this month in Honkai Star Rail, and it was for the pretty baby, the Thurda, if you will. I think I had to go to pretty much hard pity, unfortunately, but I'm just happy to have her because I think that she is stunning. And also in the month of October, like, come on, that's the perfect pull. Okay, the last Hoyo game I have to show you, obviously, is going to be Zenless. I only have one thing to show you here as well, but it's very exciting. It's another 50-51, which is just insane. My luck has been insane these past few months, and I hope that the streak doesn't leave. Please. Orphe came home. Screams. This is all thanks to Illy. Illy always grinds on here for me, and I would not have any of the characters that I want if it were not for Illy. So Illy, that kiss is for you. This kiss is for you. Next up, we've got Wuthering Waves, of course, and unfortunately, my 50-50 streak was lost on here. I think it hard pity. I lost the 50-50 to Mr. Lion Boy Ling Yang. I don't have him at all, so it was like, so at least there's that, I guess, but I'm very sad. I was pulling for Lupa. I'm very thankful because despite all of the pain, at 70 pity, Lupa decided to come home, and this is good because I want her for my Brant team. I wanted her when she first came around for my Brant team, but I think I either was pulling for somebody else or I just happened to miss her. Very unfortunate, but we got her this time. So despite it taking like 140 pulls probably to get her home, she came home. So I can't be ungrateful. I need to appreciate that. Thank you, Lupa. I'm kind of excited to show you what I've got in Infinity Nikki because there were a lot of cute outfits that were running on banners in October, so I was very fortunate once again because of ᵎᵎĥ. I have a lot of friends who are just absolutely amazing to me and are too kind to me. They do too much and I love them. I am forever grateful to them. But ᵎᵎխ helped me grind out some of the events in Infinity Nikki so that way I could get the outfits. I love you, ᵎᵎխ. Unfortunately, I was only able to pull, I think, 4 pieces of this Rainfall and Blossoms 5-star outfit, which sucks because I love everything about this outfit and I am so bummed that I didn't get every piece of this outfit. But I guess I can't be lucky in every game. I just really wished that Infinity Nikki could be one of the games that I'm lucky in. But despite that, I did get the Grains of Yesterday outfit. I unfortunately didn't get the evolution for it because I didn't do enough pulls on that banner because I wanted the other 2 4-star banner, the other 4-star outfits on the other 2 I wanted the other 4-star banners. I wanted the other 4-star outfits on the other banners, so I didn't get to do as many pulls on this banner. I don't know why that was so confusing to say. So I only got 1 copy of it, but I'm still happy because I think this outfit is precious. It's a little fairy. But I was able to pull Courtyard Flowers, which is the 4-star that I was saying I wanted. This is the one I wanted the most. I just adore all of the pinks and purples in this and the green. It's just so me. And Cloud Reverie is the other 4-star that I absolutely had to pull. This one just reminds me so much of 1, Angel, and 2, Cinnamoroll, and obviously those 2 go hand in hand. But I love this outfit. I think it's so precious. I prioritized this over the 5-star because look at it. And also I felt like I was more likely to get this outfit anyway, so it was worth it to me. Sorry guys, it's gonna take me a minute to switch to the next gacha game because Infinity Nikki never closes, so it takes me 10 minutes to get it shut. Not to call her out like that, but she does do that, so just know. Okay, this is the very last gacha game I have to show. Don't worry, there's no more gachas after this because I know you guys are like, if you played any other game you'd be happier. No, I'm so happy with what I play and what I do. I'm very happy with it all. There's nothing I would change about anything. Everything's perfect. Thank you for asking. Guys, wait, it wouldn't be a wrap-up video if I didn't show off my nails. I did polka dots. Look at the polka dots. I did polka dots. Anyway, this is not, I mean, it is. Like I said, it wouldn't be a wrap-up video if I didn't do it, but I had insane luck in P5X. I'm so fortunate because it was for a character that I desperately wanted. But at 40 pity, I pulled Seaside Tomoko twice. I wasn't on a guarantee. I just happened to pull her back to back. And I literally couldn't be happier. I love this character, and when I saw that there was like a Seaside version, screams and cries and throws up and dies. All of them. Unfortunately though, her weapon did not want to come home. I couldn't tell you why. At hard pity, I lost the 50-50 to someone else's weapon. I wish I could remember who it was. Somebody. But then at hard pity, literally at 80 pulls, or was it 80 or 70? I don't even remember what the weapon pity is. I got her Bubble Babies, which I wanted so bad because it's literally so cute. This is the cutest, she is the cutest character I've ever seen, and this weapon is the cutest weapon I've ever seen. If I had a weapon, this would be my weapon. Bubble Babies. Yup. Anyway, that's all I have to show you for my gachas. So let's start talking about the games that are not gacha related. The games with no gacha system. The first non-gacha I dove into this month was Fields of Mystria. This is a cozy farming sim genuinely unlike any other. I bought this game back when it first released, but I never gave myself a chance to dive into it, and I'm really happy that I waited until this month. If you didn't know, it has magical elements to it, and it's supposed to be a Stardew Valley-esque game, but more magical, but also more simple and less complex than Sunhaven. The very first thing that drew my eye to this game was just how vibrant and stunning it is. The art style is everything to me. It feels just so warm and cozy to play through, and the characters actually feel real, and it is enjoyable to interact with them. I happen to love all the different aspects of the game. Fishing, mining, farming, all of them are somehow unique from other farming games, which I like, and they're also simple but not too simple, I guess. Like, I just feel like the difficulty level is perfect for this type of game. I really love that the story is so important to the game. Like, you really progress through a story as you play through. So it's not just like a here's a farm, do what you want, you know, encounter story if you do. No, the story is part of what the game is. I will say I didn't make a ton of progress this month, but I did fix the bridge and the mill. I upgraded my backpack and I made it all the way through spring, so I am into summer. So hopefully I'll have more updates from this game. And if you want to see my farm, definitely let me know. And also, if you want to see me play this game on my channel, I would love to. If you guys want to do a farm together, let's do it. I would love to. I played one more spooky-ish game this month, and that was ᵎᵎchú. This is a 2D narrative RPG set in the 1800s where you play as a girl navigating her life as a new vampire. It is a beautiful visual novel that has so much that you get to dive into. Not only does it check all of the boxes for spooky season, it also really makes you think. The game covers a lot of topics that hit pretty close to home for me, so I found myself very attached to Dear Liza. I love the different environments and the voice acting in this game. It is unlike any I have ever heard before. I would highly recommend this game if you're looking for something kind of cozy but spooky to pick up. And the very last game I have to show you is going to be one that I accidentally caved and got. I caved and bought Pokemon Legends ZA. I was not expecting to buy Pokemon Legends ZA because I really didn't think it was my vibe. I'm not a city girl. I wanted to have environments that were more out in the open, out in the wild. I wanted to traverse pretty mushroom forests and stuff. So I didn't expect to buy this, but then, why does it look, I hope does it look this bad for you guys? What's going on? Is my capture cam messed up? I've also never plugged it into a monitor like this game, and I'm like, does it look this bad? Sorry, I don't think it does. I think it's me. But I just want to briefly talk about the few things that I've done. Quite literally, I have only had the game for maybe a week. Have I even had it a week? So I don't have a ton of Pokemon, but I want to show off my shiny Lopunny that Cheeto Beetle gave me because, look, I love her. She's so cool. I can't even use her yet because she's level 65, so she won't listen to me, but I still love her, and she's sitting here waiting to be used. I don't have any shinies that I've caught myself, though. Not yet, at least. I have made it to I've made it to level 9 with the Mabel rewards, and I believe I am literally I'm literally rank X. So I'm not very far so far, but that's okay because this game has kind of been taking up all my attention lately, especially because I accidentally messed up my RNG ally. So I really can only play things on my Switch right now, but that's okay because I have this game that I'm working through. I have Detective Pikachu that I literally just started. I didn't include it in the wrap up because it's not important. It's not important enough yet. I haven't played enough to be able to talk about it. And also, there's going to be an Animal Crossing update in January, so I need to get on my Animal Crossing island and get going. I need to start decorating. I need to get prepared. I need to get right back into the Animal Crossing hyperfixation. So that's the goal. But anyway, that is literally all the games that I have to show you for this month. Wow, it's been a long one. I feel like I've been talking for forever, but we still have a little bit more talking to do, so let's dive in and talk about the books that I read. Okay, we have now made it to the book section of this wrap-up video. I need to get my little notes app pulled up because in here, this is where I have literally like every book I read. Otherwise, I would forget. I wouldn't forget like the entire book itself. I just would forget that I read it in this month. I'd be like, oh, I read that forever ago. Because when you read so many books in a month, the books you read at the beginning of the month, you're like, nah, that was forever ago. I didn't read that this month. No, you did. You did. And maybe that's just me and my horrible memory, but I don't know. The very first book I read this month was Pestilence by Laura Thalassa. I think that's how you say that. This is a dark fantasy romance that takes place in modern day, but the world has been taken over by a plague that's being spread by one of the deadly horsemen of the apocalypse. Pestilence, if you can't tell by the name of the book. I remember seeing this book recommended maybe a year ago, and I thought it would be perfect to pick up during spooky season just because like the vibes are, I don't know, kind of giving Halloween. And honestly, I'm really glad that I did because I think this series is definitely a fall read. Everything about it just is fall and winter, and I definitely am going to continue this series. But first, I need to talk about what even happened in this book. I will say some of my favorite things about this book were the dynamic between the two main characters. At first, it's kind of like, whoa, what's going on? But I will say as it goes on, it's definitely very interesting to see how they grow on each other. I don't want to spoil too much about the plot because the book literally throws you immediately into the action. Like, I think from the first chapter, you're like, oh, we're in it, we're doing stuff. So I don't want to tell you too much about the plot, or I feel like it's not going to be as exciting and you're not gonna tear through it as quickly as I did. I was surprised that the plot of this book was actually as interesting as it was, but I desperately, as I was reading, I was tearing through and I desperately wanted to know why the horsemen were here and why this was happening. And I mean, I just was like, huh? How did we reach this point where they were literally today, modern day, and then, you know, hey, horsemen. Horseman came, plague. Great. Great. And I just had to know, well, why? What was the reason? When I was about halfway through the book, I ended up immediately ordering the rest of the series because I was like, yeah, I just adored the way that this author writes and the storytelling, and I knew that I was going to want to continue the series, and I wanted to make sure I immediately had it when I finished this. Even though I didn't continue this series at all this month. It was funny, I was scared. I had to order it and make sure I had it before I finished this book, just in case I felt the urge to finish it. I didn't want to have anything stop me. I really appreciated that this story kept up a steady pacing. It wasn't really slow at any points, and I felt like the story was consistently interesting throughout beginning to end. I genuinely was tearing through every chapter, and this is a sort of big book, and I read it pretty quickly. I think within a week I finished this book, which was shocking considering books half this size have been taking me 2 weeks this entire year. So if that tells you anything, this really helped me get out of whatever funk I was in. I really loved this book. I ended up rating it 4.25 stars. The only reason it's not 5 stars is just because, well, no, I can't tell you because I feel like that tells you too much, but just know it is a really good read. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna tell you. The next book I read was also a physical book, and it was Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I just was kind of wanting a palate cleanser. Like, I didn't want another fantasy book after this one or anything with like a fantasy world. I just wanted something cute and simple, and so I was like, okay, Ali Hazelwood is usually the best for that, and so I actually was not disappointed with this one. I would say it reads like a rom-com from the first page. It picks up so quickly and it just feels like you're watching a movie. I always think that Ali Hazelwood's writing has a way of just making you feel like the words are actually playing out in front of you and you can just envision everything that's happening on your own, and I just feel like it's really hard to be able to do that, and the authors that can do it and do it well just amaze me. This is another book that I tore through pretty quickly this month, and there were so many parts of it that I was like audibly giggling, and that's another thing. It's hard for books to make me laugh. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I don't even know what my sense of humor is, but just sometimes it's very hard for a book to encapsulate my sense of humor, and so I love when it can make me laugh. There's literally nothing more entertaining than that. This is an enemies-ish to lovers workplace romance. It's also a bit of a slow burn, but it's not the slowest burn. Like, you don't have to wait until the last page to see them even kiss. Like, it's not like that, but it is a slower burn. You don't right from the start see them get together. B, the female main character, gets her dream job co-leading a neuroengineering project at NASA, but she has no clue that her co-lead is her sworn enemy, Levi Ward. He is her grad school rival, and he's kind of just made her life a little bit of a pain since she met him. So from the very beginning, that's sort of the conflict that starts. I will say one thing I love about Ali Hazelwood books that I know a lot of people are like iffy on, like I feel like it's 50-50 on this opinion. I love all the women in STEM talk. I just think it's really fun, and I like books that can be fun and also like sort of educational and sort of make you think and use your brain. I love that, and she does that so well. I think honestly this is the perfect like cozy quick read if you need some sort of palate cleanser after a heavy or bigger book. I do think this might be my new favorite from her. I really loved this book, and I hopefully will reread it. Well, I need to finish my entire Ali Hazelwood catalog before I think about rereading, but just know I am thinking about rereading this because of how much I just enjoyed getting through it. And before I forget, I rated it 4.5 stars, and this might be the highest rated thing I read this month. I cannot remember, but I think it is. The next book I read, I listened to as an audiobook, and I also read on my Kindle, and it also happens to be the Mush Club book pick for the month. So if you didn't know, we have a little book club in my server and on Fable where we sort of take the time to read books together. We pick the books out together, we vote on them, and it's a lot of fun. And for this month's book, we picked The Bewitching by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. This is a gothic folk horror story spanning 3 different timelines from 1908 to 1998, and I will say, right before I super get into it, these timelines are told between each other and you start to see them intertwine with each other in ways. I will say this book had a very slow start and there were a lot of points that I felt were very predictable. I think the story itself is unique and I loved the mystery that was unfolding throughout it. But I also want to mention that this isn't a gentle horror story. I urge you to please check trigger warnings before you start this book because it talks about a lot of heavy stuff and a lot of stuff that is definitely, yeah, not light is all I'm gonna say. I did enjoy listening to the audiobook, but I felt a little underwhelmed by the ending of this book. I don't know. I did reach the end of it and just sort of question, why did I pick this book up? Like, why did I read it? It was that kind of ending, and so that kind of sucked. I just wish that I got a little something more from this book. I don't really know what it could have given me more of, but it didn't. I'm not satisfied, I guess, with the ending, with my reading experience with this one. This is also not the type of book that you really attach yourself to a lot of characters because the majority of them are so unbearable to read about. I do wish the main character stood out more to me, but I'm telling you, I think all of the different timelines just really made it hard in my head to understand and grasp what's going on. And then when I started seeing the different plot points unfold, I was like, oh my god, but this is so predictable. Like, I knew this was gonna happen, so I don't know. I think reading this right before Halloween probably helped me enjoy this a bit more than I would have if I read this literally at any other time. I don't think I would have rated it as high as I did. So I will say I only recommend this if you're looking for like spooky vibes, then you might like this. This might be for you. But I did rate it a solid 4 stars because, like I said, it was a good book. It not being a satisfying conclusion when I closed the book is what knocked off an entire star for me though. Sorry, my dog is sneezing. She's sneezing and she's like doing little circles. The next 2 things I read were manga, of course. If you've been watching my wrap-up videos for a while, then you're familiar with this series. I've been talking about it for maybe most of this year, but that is Fruits Basket. I read volume 9. I will say this volume was quite the lore bomb. We're introduced to a new member of the student council and we see Yuki interacting with them. I think that this is more of a summer cozy read, like reading it in the month of October. The vibes weren't perfect. I mean, I think when I read this, it was still extremely hot out, but now that we're at the end of October, it's freezing. So I'm looking back on this and I'm like, it doesn't feel like this was the right time to read this. This is so summer. This is literally a summer book. But they're just getting onto summer break and the characters go off to a cottage. And we also get to go back into characters' pasts and we get a lot of new information revealed to us. Toru and Kyo spend a lot of time together and she's told something extremely interesting and also extremely pertinent to her story. The ending of this honestly really tied the entire volume together for me, and I will say that this was a solid volume, but it's really hard for me to rate manga because they're so short and not a lot happens in them, so I did only give it 3.25 stars, but that is not a bad rating in any way. Next, I went ahead and read volume 10 of Fruits Basket, and this one was honestly just packed to the brim with important flashbacks. It felt like we were getting more depth to a lot of different characters and their relationships, which I enjoyed a lot. I still enjoyed the summer vacation vibes, but like I said, it's kind of not the time now as much as it would have been if I read this a few months ago, but it was very nice to see the characters get a break. They definitely deserved it. I will say it's hard to seeing the struggles that different characters go through without getting to see them have any sort of break or, I don't know, chance to not deal with it. I also loved the ending of this volume. It made me so excited and it also got me hyped up to go ahead and pick up the next volume, although I haven't yet. I do have it already on my Kindle, I believe. I rated this one 3.75 stars, which is pretty freaking good for a manga, I will say. Like, I did thoroughly enjoy this volume. I will say all the rest of the things I read in October were purely just for spooky Halloween vibes. I was trying to channel all of that. I wanted every day to feel like a new spooky time. I read the novella from Ali Hazelwood, Hot for Slayer. It's just a short and sweet novella that's part of an Audible and I believe Kindle Unlimited collection that they did for spooky season. There are a couple different authors that did novellas for this, and so I wanted to listen to and read some of them, and I started with the one from Ali Hazelwood. I do believe it's like the first one in the series. It's a very quick and easy read. I flew through it in literally one day, and I believe I just read it on my Kindle. The premise is a vampire has been chased by a vampire hunter for all these years, and then we see them encounter each other again all this time later. You get to see a glimpse into their past still though, which I think is really cool because for a novella I didn't expect to see so much depth. But I was happy that we got that as well as still enough of the current timeline so that it wasn't too much of either timeline. I honestly was unsure if I would enjoy this because, like I said, novellas are hard for me because how can you fit so much into such a short book? You want it to hit all the boxes, and if it doesn't, then it's kind of just like an unsatisfying read. But I will say that Ali Hazelwood did it for me with this book. I really enjoyed it, and I'm not like dissatisfied with having read it. I felt like the story was fun and interesting, and it was told quickly enough that I was just tearing through it. I think for spooky season, it's a great choice. I know that it's kind of over now, but it would still be something fun while we're in the colder months, I think. I mean, vampires are kind of winter, so. I rated this 3.5 stars, and I also just want to mention that I did enjoy the audiobook narrators. Like, sometimes I don't love narrators, but I enjoyed this one. It was good. The next thing I read was the last physical book that I read this month, and that is Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell. Not only did I buy the physical book because I felt like it was beautiful. I think this is a special edition because the normal copy is like red, but this one is purple and it has sprayed edges, and I love it. I saw it at Barnes & Noble and I was like, you're coming home with me. And the title was so intriguing to me, I just had to know, what do you mean someone you can build a nest in? Buy, add to cart. But this genuinely is a romantasy book unlike anything else I've ever read in my life. It follows a shapeshifter named ᵎᵎᵃ who was prematurely woken from hibernation by hunters. She is forced to escape from where she lives, and she happens to run into a compassionate woman named Homily. Homily helps ᵎᵉ while she's ill and nurses her back to health in a way, and they start working together. They form a bit of a close bond, but ᵎᵉ is forced to keep her shape-shifting abilities a secret, which is obviously something that's very important to the story. I don't want to spoil too much about that and any of the other characters that you meet because I feel like it's all very important to the story. I just want to say I loved the dynamic between the two characters. The story just felt so original to me. I genuinely have never read anything else like this. It was somehow so sweet and heartwarming while also being so insanely disturbing at other parts. I don't know how they did it, but the balance of it it was somehow it was so good. I have no other words. Also, the mystery unraveling throughout this kept me on my toes, so I was tearing through it pretty quickly, and also with having the audiobook, that helped. I'm also glad that I bought the audiobook as well as the physical book because I can definitely see this being a spooky season reread. Like, I could see myself reading this every single October, so I'm glad that I have two versions of it to make it easier for myself. I rated it 4.5 stars, so I guess it's tied with Love on the Brain for being my highest rated of the month, but I definitely will say this is my favorite of this month, for sure. I definitely recommend this book. Check trigger warnings though, because there are definitely some things that are probably a little too much for some readers, but I loved this book. Please read it. It's so good. I have 2 more things that I read this month and then we're done. I know. I said there were so many things that I read. Both of them were also part of the Audible Kindle Unlimited collection for spooky season. The first one I read of the 2 was Falling by Christina Lauren. I read this both on my Kindle and listened to the audiobook as I did with the other. I will say once again, this is another good read for spooky season. It has just the right amount of pretty much anything I think that you would want from a romance book while still having a little story unfold behind it. Obviously, this isn't something that's going to be life-changing. It's a novella. It's like a 45-minute read. But if you want a short story about an immortal who's finally found someone that's able to resist his powers, this is it. I will say the ending of this was really solid for only having taken maybe an hour to read. And when listening to the audiobook, I really liked both of the narrators. I will say I think they did a very good job. I didn't write down what I rated this, so I need to check. Give me 1 minute. Okay, I rated it a solid 3 stars, so that's just a solid good read to me. A lot of novellas usually fall under 3 stars for me. That's just, I don't know, they just always end up like that. But the very last thing that I read in the month of October, which I actually finished today as I was doing my makeup to get ready to film this video, was Beautiful Nightmare by Katie Robert. This is, like I said, another of the novellas from the collection. This one is about an awkward sleepy paralysis demon, and I will say it's interesting. It's quite I don't know. It moves quickly, the plot is fun, the characters are really interesting, honestly. The entire concept of this book was just very silly. It's definitely the sillier one of the spooky books that I read this month. Even the other novellas were a bit more, I don't know. I don't want to say serious. It's not that this was unserious. It was goofy. It was silly. It made me, I enjoyed it. It was very quick. I think it was 45 minutes to complete it. Very quick read. I enjoyed it. Perfect to end off spooky season. Although I think the next thing I'm going to read is War, which is the next book in the, like, it's pestilence, war, famine. Am I reading War? Yeah. Death. This is the last one. Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to read next. So I'm ending spooky season off. Amazing, I think. I would love to hear if you have any spooky reads that you read this month and if you recommend them. If we read any of the same books, I'd love to know. But I think I'm going to go ahead and end off today's video here. So thank you so much for watching until the end. Like I said, let me know if we have anything in common this month. I would love to hear what you got up to in the month of October. Don't forget my Discord server is always linked in the description below. I also have my Fable book club that will be linked down there, as well as I have a membership on YouTube which gives you early access to my uploads. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye!